Yup. So when you do talk into that, just keep it like a fist away. Because looking on here.
So probably backward. Right here was good. Or
no, you want to actually be a little bit closer.
Right here.
Like a fist. So like.
Right here.
Yeah.
Way better.
That's where you'll want to be.
How's it looking on there?
Good.
All right.
I can actually see the wave file now coming in. So
I try and stay like that calm voice. I don't want to yell.
Yeah, no. So we'll get it all crispy in post too. So
sweet.
Yup. Well, sweet, bro. I'm glad that you're joining me today on the podcast on Gimme the Keys.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get the keys today.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So just to give a little bit of context to the people that are listening, like me and Van, like we're brand new friends.
Yep. New friendship.
Brand new friendship. And we met like
3 weeks?
Yeah, it was like
something along that, like 3 weeks ago, actually here at Cortland.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we just met like just walking around the complex downstairs. Like we just kind of stumbled into each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, where you from? Like, where you look? Well, it was funny because you look lost. You look like you didn't know what was going on.
Totally was.
And I asked you like, are you looking for something? And you're like, I'm new. And we just like started like a conversation. And I just remember like, so you moved out here by yourself.
Yeah. And my dog.
And your dog Tank.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Tank.
Shout out Tank, the homie.
And I remember like really admiring that you moved out here all by yourself. I thought that was like really cool.
Yeah.
What made you like kind of want to come out to Colorado? Like why Colorado?
Well, it was definitely a big step. I'll tell you that. Scary. Like you would, you got to do the 9-hour drive by yourself and hope that nothing happens. And all I have really is my grandma. And so I'd been in Kansas for a long time, and I just thought, it was time for change. I had that inner self just being like, you need to do something new. You can't just keep waking up, repeating the same cycle and thinking you're going to have change.
Yeah.
Like I would rather climb the mountain for my own happiness that I truly built than just, stumbling upon something one day and calling that, good temporary happiness.
Yeah.
I'd rather work for it.
Yeah. And so you're 21,
yep.
Right?
22 in October.
22 in October.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I remember when I was 21, I was doing a lot of really stupid stuff back in my time.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So this is like a big change in your life to just be like
huge.
Fresh start.
Yeah.
Coming out here, not really knowing a lot of people in Colorado.
No. Nobody, actually.
Before we met, you didn't really have anybody out here, right?
I knew one person, and that was kind of that, that person that was dibble dabble, and
he was like a acquaintance kind of.
Yeah. Turned out that, he wasn't going to be in my life, so probably for the better.
Yeah. So would you say I was like the first friend that you met out here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
And I cherish that a lot.
Let's go.
I cherish that, like seriously.
New friendship right here.
Yes, sir.
Yup. So we don't know each other that well. Like the thing is like we're diving into a podcast together, and it's like, typically podcasts, it's like, it's either two celebrities, it's like two well-known people, or it's like really good friends that have been lifelong friends. But to just dive into a podcast with someone that you're just getting to know, it's like, this is amazing. It's like an opportunity to get to know each other. So yeah, dude.
I bet it's really cool for you too, just as much as it is for me. I bet it's like a really cool, experience.
Yeah. Yeah, podcasts are fun. They're a good time, man.
Yeah.
Yup.
I like it.
So what should we where do you want to go? What do you want to take it in? So we did write some buzzwords.
Right.
We had some buzzwords on here. Which one? Where do you want to dive in? So we talked about Colorado, moving to Colorado,
and a little bit about the friendship.
About the new friendship.
I think I like the anxiety topic.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think it's a cool and interesting topic because a lot of people always have something some new insight or some different to bring to the table. And I love that. I love learning about that stuff.
Yeah.
So
would you say that you're somebody that has a lot of anxiety or like a normal amount, or
depending on the situation, probably more than normal, if not probably the same, you know? If you're going to have to get on stage and talk in front of a bunch of people, probably going to be a little shaky and a little nervous.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm the worst about that.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest fear. Yeah. Like out of everything is public speaking.
Public speaking. Yeah, that's a bad one.
Which is why it's kind of ironic that I started a podcast, because in a way it's speaking to an audience, but it's not like you're on a stage, you know, like we're alone. But it almost recreates, for me, it recreates the feeling of like presenting in front of an audience almost, in a way, if that makes sense.
You like that?
Yeah, I want to lean into it because like anxiety, if you avoid the things that make you anxious, it's gonna grow that fear around that thing.
Oh,
because if you don't address it, you're subconsciously telling yourself, if you don't face it, you're like, I'm not strong enough to face this, so I'm running away from it. And then your subconscious like feeds into that, and then it validates the thing as like a true fear. So if you can voluntarily face something that's like causing you anxiety, it decreases the hold that it has over you. So like,
I like that right there.
Yeah, so I try and like address my anxiety. Sometimes in like new social situations, I'll get like really anxious too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, sometimes like before like a family party even, or it's like with Asia's family. Yeah. Like before I could just feel like a lot of anxiety, and I don't really know where that stems from per se, but yeah, I think my anxiety is mostly social. I don't really get anxious about other things besides social.
So what do you do? Like, you know, say you have that, right? You got that 20 minutes or whatever till family comes, and you're in the bathroom. What are you telling yourself? Like, what are you going through in that moment?
It's usually, I try and get out of my head because I'm a big thinker. Mm-hmm. So usually I'm too in my head, I'm overthinking. And so I try and draw myself into my body. And so I'll start actually focusing on my breath. I'll notice where I have any tension, like in my body. Like sometimes I notice if I'm really nervous, like I'm like tensing up my calf, or like I'm like white knuckling something, and I'm like, oh, I'll just find the tension. I'll identify the tension in my body, and like a lot of times it's in my gut where I'm like holding my breath. I'm like, okay, just relax. Like I try and get into my body.
Right.
And I try to, you know, like I said, remove myself from the thoughts, because the thoughts are what's spiraling me, as like I'm like projecting and thinking about if this scenario comes up, or what if this happens.
Yeah.
So I try and just get really like in my body, focused on the present moment. That helps me a ton. So that's kind of my thing. Do you have any like techniques or things that you do when you start feeling anxious?
A lot of mine is I talk to myself.
Yeah.
Like I will totally sit there, man, and I will sit in the mirror and talk to myself.
What do you say?
I like, Van, like, come on, like, depending, like, okay, so like over here, coming over for the podcast, it's our first topic. A little anxiety. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, Van, you know, this is something you've dreamed of like doing, putting together for yourself. So like you're this far, don't start thinking these things to yourself now. Yeah. Like I try and come at it with the power side of my head, thinking like, come on, you know, these are little thoughts compared to a whole, you know, thing you truly feel inside. So don't let these two little things, these two little tacks knock off a whole plate of food, you know? I know that's really weird metaphor, but yeah, I don't know. So just talking to myself, really.
So you're trying to almost just pump yourself
up.
Lift,
like hype myself up almost. Yeah, but in a positive way of like, this is good for you. You need this. You wanted it. Why would you not want it now? So it's almost like you're questioning why those thoughts are even coming back out. So it's just kind of sitting there and asking yourself, why are you scared? Like, what is this? Like, what does it stem from?
Yeah. I like those questions that you ask yourself, because it's almost like treating it like an opportunity. Like you've wanted to do a podcast. You want to be putting yourself out there. Like this is the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's such a key thing, is looking at speaking as an opportunity versus it being a potential anxiety inducing thing, or thinking about it as like what could go wrong.
Right.
Like it's like, no, it's an opportunity to like share who you are. And like, even if, it doesn't go exactly how you plan, like you're moving forward in through.
You're still moving.
Yeah. You're moving through that anxiety into, you're growing. It's like growth.
As long as you're not stepping back, you're growing. I feel like.
Wisdom right there.
Yeah. Words of wisdom from Van.
Yeah. I remember when we were first talking, that first day we hung out down by the pool with Calvin and Asia. Like, I remember you saying that you've been trying to like put yourself out there and meet new people.
Yeah.
How has it been going, like meeting new people in Colorado since you moved here?
I'd say it's gone pretty well. I've met some cool people, but I've also like met the people they're just like, they just want to know the minimum to see if that's something they're interested in or not, and then if they're not, they're out. So like, example, trying to meet girls on, Tinder, the bar, it's not really working out for me. So
is that like a goal for you? Like finding a partner or a relationship, or is it just something that would be kind of nice? Or
it'd be a little cherry on top. It'd be cool,
Yeah.
Coming home to someone that cares for you and loves you. Like some people, I'm not talking about you at all. I'm saying like some people from my past I've seen totally take for granted. Like totally, a girl will bring home dinner and, genuinely try for someone. And the guy just takes it as, all right, this should be expected. And it's like, she can be gone in a second. And then that's what really people don't understand is these people, they don't have to be there. They don't have to do these nice, kind things for you. And some people genuinely take it for granted and expect that because the entitlement weighs over everything else. So it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't mean to go too deep in that. I thought it'd be nice to just have someone at the end of the day to share with, talk to.
Yeah.
Personally.
Have you had like good relationships in the past, or have a lot of your relationships, like what are your past relationships been like? I don't think I've ever.
Yeah. So this is something we haven't really dived into on our friendship, but I've had one girlfriend, and we did like 5 years some change, but there was some like breakup time. We were still talking. I love that girl. I loved her so much.
Yeah.
And
that's a long time, 5 years.
And I just that after that was done, I never really could bring it back to put that much effort into trying to find something like that again, because I did that for the while. I was struggling. I was like, oh my God, I need to fulfill this hurt. And nothing was working out in my favor. And so what I found was with time that I kept working on myself and just genuinely doing things that made me happy, better things started to come and come. It wasn't, overnight, but a week, a month, things started looking a lot better.
Yeah. What things were you doing for yourself to like?
Well,
'cause you said you focused on yourself. What were those things?
I would start going to the gym a lot more, but it wasn't just, I wouldn't just do the workouts, that you'd see online. Like, oh, if you do this, you'll get big. No, I would run. I would do like ab workouts, and then I'd sit in the sauna.
Yeah.
And I've actually, this is something crazy that I'll share. I've cried in the sauna many times,
nice.
Because you can't tell. People can't tell. I've always heard this really cool quote. I like to take a walk in the rain because people can't tell that I'm crying.
Dang, that's deep.
It is deep. And so, I kind of thought about that, and I was like, in the moment, like, there are some things that we hide from other people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of emotional stuff that we hide from ourselves. And it's like, that place is solid for me. Like, I feel like I get a grip of myself and I can let it out. And it's nice.
Dude, it feels good to cry.
Yeah,
Like,
it does. It does feel good to cry.
Yeah.
And anyone, if there's someone out there that's like a grown man shouldn't cry, maybe they need to work on. Maybe they should cry,
bro.
Just cry,
Dude. Believe it or not, I cried yesterday.
Yeah.
Literally, yesterday was my birthday. We're recording this May 6th. So, yeah, yesterday was my birthday, and I remember me and Asia, we had just gotten Dutch Bros, which is a coffee shop, and we were sitting out there, and I just was like, I remember telling her, like, I feel like I'm struggling to enjoy today. Like, I don't feel like I deserve this good day. I just felt I wasn't identifying with the age 28. Like, and I wasn't bawling, but I just remember we were sitting in the car, and I just remember kind of just like crying a little bit. Yeah. And like, man, I remember it just felt really good to feel that. Yeah. Because I think as guys, we can be so like methodical and like reason, like we're trying to like think our way through our problems. And I know for me, I get really detached from my like my emotions, like my heart. Yeah. And so whenever I like do have a moment where I like break down and like actually feel everything, and I'm able to like let that out, it feels really good. And like, I don't know. That's one thing I really like about you, dude, is that I can tell you're just like a real guy, like a real genuine person.
I appreciate that.
And you have emotions that you're not shying away from. Like you accept them for what they are.
It's come with a lot though. Like I used to be a very hidden person. I used to be a very, I wouldn't want to tell you anything. I wouldn't want to tell you even if I had a bad day or got an F on a test. Like there were just the most simplest things I would hide. And then, going through some stuff, it learned to be like, letting it out is okay, because it's showing that you need help in a way. It's showing that you're reaching out. You're not being this big, I got it. I got everything. Don't worry about me because I'm too great. There's no need for that. Everyone needs help in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one's too great for everything.
Right. That almost makes me think about like some scriptures I've read, or like the concept of like being humble and willing to be vulnerable, and how there's a lot of strength in doing that. I wish I had some scriptures that came to mind, but just like, I don't know, when you look at like Jesus, or like what did he represent? Like he was a relatively meek person. It's in some cases, sometimes very meek and like withdrawn, and would take a lowly position. And like, I don't know, I just think that having humility is not, it's really difficult for somebody to have humility and be vulnerable and share their downsides. But I felt like I've really grown into that in my my adulthood. Like when I was around your age, Van, I was just getting into like writing, like actually thinking about what I thought and what I knew, and I started like writing it out, like on paper. And I remember that was like, because you said earlier that sometimes we're hidden from ourselves. Yeah. And that's so true.
Oh yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
So that's why it's like, if you're not expressing it in some format, whether it's writing, whether it's making like music or creating some art or doing a podcast, like if you're not expressing what's in your mind and heart, it gets dark in there, and you can't see what's left from right. So
absolutely. And that is awesome. Like you said that, because like I've felt that too, and just never knew how to really describe it. And your words were like gold right there. So that's awesome. And another thing that I kind of wanted to share on that topic was like, so I told you I like quotes. Mm-hmm. Probably read like 20 of them a day.
Yeah.
And I read one last night because I was staying up late, and it said he would rather be slapped with the truth than kissed with a lie.
Ooh, I would rather be slapped with the truth than kissed with the lie.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so like at first I kind of scrolled up and thought goofy, but then like if you really take a minute and think about, like, there's a lot of things that go behind that. Like there's a lot of ways you could interpret that, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I interpret it as just like truth is the most important thing. Like truth, being authentic.
Yeah, just being real.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's ever been times in your life where you've been living like a lie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've also, won't BS it. I've done some bad things in my past too. Like I've done some terrible things to people, and I've done terrible things to myself, like letting myself down, just not doing the right things. And then a lot of it was like waking up, at the bottom of the floor, just being like, yeah, man, like I want to be better for myself.
Yeah. Do you have you ever heard of Jordan Peterson? Do you know who he is at all?
Jordan Peterson. The last name sounds familiar, but no.
Yeah, he talks a lot about, he wrote this book called 12 Rules for Life, and it's kind of like advice for just how to live an upright, like moral, fulfilling life. And one of the rules is treat yourself like someone you're responsible for caring for. Like treat yourself like someone you're responsible for. And so he talks about like if a friend came to you, or someone that you love, and they were like, Van, I'm going through this is how I feel.
Right.
Whatever you would tell that friend, you almost need to like handle your own problems in that same fashion of like, you have to like coach yourself and talk to yourself as if you're like two different people that are like trying to figure it out. And you have to, that just means like taking care of yourself. It's just like, it doesn't come natural all the time. We're not like taught super well, like how to like take care of your mental health, or take care of how to be like the best version of you. It's just like a constant struggle for humans. It doesn't come natural to us.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I've had times in my life where I feel lost. I mean, this is even recently too, man. Like, even in my adulthood with like my job, like just in the past 3 months, like I've told you about like the work and how it's been stressing me. And, I've had to almost look at myself objectively and be like, what are the things that you need to do to get yourself to where you want to be? And I have to like abstract that out as like two different people inside me. It's kind of weird, kind of a strange thing there. But yeah, what do you think?
I was gonna ask you, when you do that, like, are you saying you don't like yourself when that like stage comes through your head, or like what are you thinking about yourself, like during that time when you're like just to the max?
I felt lazy, honestly. Okay. I felt really like, so I would say it's thinking negatively about myself, feeling lazy, feeling like in my job I'm not communicating as clearly as I could, feeling like I'm not, because I sell solar, so I'm out like talking to strangers all the time, and I feel like, am I not making them feel comfortable enough during the conversation? Like, so I can run the cycle of like thinking negatively about myself.
Like, what are you doing type?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's like about that rule, like treat yourself like someone you're responsible for caring for. Like at the same time, I'm like the lazy, negative, doubtful version of Alec. There's like another part of Alec that's not that. That's confident, that is disciplined, that's hardworking. Yeah. And that side of Alec has to like coach the other side of me. Okay. Like, man, we got this. That's almost like you hyping yourself up. Yeah. Because it's the part of Van that's like, no, we want this. Like, this is an opportunity. Like, let's go for this.
It's a drive.
Yeah. Oh. So I mean, people, there's a good and an evil side to every person. Yeah. There's some crazy quote I wish I knew off the top of my head. I would butcher it, but it's like, there's every heart, there's a line that's like a good side and an evil side. Oh, have you heard this quote?
Man,
I wish we had it on tap.
I know exactly. It's
poetic.
Yeah, someone actually put it in a book too. I've read it.
I want to say it was like Nietzsche, like maybe Nietzsche. Maybe in post, I'll put the...
It's a good quote.
Yeah, I'll put the
quote
up.
It is a good quote.
Let's pretend it's right here.
Definitely, yeah.
Good quote.
Right here.
Good quote. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, man, we're all capable of really good things, and we're all capable of evil too.
Yeah.
So it's like a constant battle. And I feel like over our life, as we mature and get older, like we learn how to mostly maintain good and minimize the evil that we're capable of. And evil comes in a lot of different forms. I would say anxiety is like a form of evil, of like, it's something robbing you of like your spirit, your anxiety, because it casts a shadow over the good spirit that you have. So I don't know.
Would you say like happiness is evil as well in a like certain way?
I can't see why it would. Do you think happiness is evil?
I don't. I think that I think that some people, I may say this word wrong, misconstrue what happiness really is. And like, you know, nowadays you see how all these people, you know, happiness is having the yacht, the pretty girl, and tons of money. Okay, but when I'm out there hanging out with my buddy and we're out by the, like, I'm completely happy. Like I feel like $1 million, and I don't have $1 million. And that's like, you know, some people genuinely have a confused definition of what happiness means because they've never worked on themselves to find it. Because they're always just scrolling, seeing, you know, oh, this is happiness. Oh, buying $30,000 Birkin bags, happiness. Like that's, that's not real. Like that's what some people make it seem for them in the moment. And that's their life. Maybe that's their happiness, but you know, maybe try getting on a bike or playing a new video game or something. Go out of your comfort zone and try something new that you like that you've never tried.
What's something that makes you like truly, truly happy?
Truly, truly happy? Being outside. If it's a walk, even taking Tank outside, like I love it. If I could live out there, I would totally, you know, if I ever came into some money, I would definitely get one of those big, like decked out trucks that have the big cool beds, and I would be going all through Colorado, Wyoming, Yellowstone. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I would love it.
Outdoors guy over here.
And then the podcast, like, dude, that like today I was just talking about like do something that you haven't done that made like been waiting for a moment like this.
Yeah.
And man. Makes me happy. So
let's go. Yeah, I find that I get a lot of, so like happiness, you asked if like that was evil, and like to me when I think of happiness, it almost feels like very surface level. Like it's not a very like admirable quality almost. Like I don't strive to be a happy person per se.
Okay.
I find more positive emotion and meaning in being disciplined, creative, and like selfless towards other people. Okay. So like happiness is kind of almost in a sense, I think of it as a little bit selfish sometimes. Like happiness, I almost think of somebody that's just doing what they want in a selfish way of like, this is what, you know, buying this bag makes me happy. Like it's kind of a selfish thing in some context, but not every context, obviously. So I more aim so at like things that are challenging to me, like things that I can get better at and like gain skill in. And then I really struggle with being like a selfless person, like putting people before myself. I struggle with that. So like those are like the areas where I try and like grow in. Okay. So I'm not ever really striving for happiness per se. Like that's not like my end all be all. But man, if happiness like does like come around, like enjoy it while you have it. Yeah. Because that's actually, you asked me when the podcast, like how did I start that? Like the podcast started out of me being in like a really joyful, peaceful, happy place.
That is awesome.
And this was like last November. And out of that like joy and peace, what caused that was like it was a point in my life where I had some time off work, because I had like busted my butt all last summer, made some money, so I didn't have to worry about working every day. I was like, free time. Remember last night we were talking on the balcony?
Yeah.
Like free time. Like having space to like let my mind think on projects and like see a longer vision. Like that's what gives me a lot of like true happiness. And so the podcast was like me realizing how much time I was going to have off from work and realizing that I get a lot of positive joy from creating things, whether it's music, I make music, or whether it's writing, encapsulating what's in my head through like a piece of writing and then posting that. Like those creative things, I get a lot of joy from that. So this is another way for me to just create. Like podcast is a way for me to create. Okay. And through that, I've gotten into like the video side of things. Like I'm starting to edit more videos now, and it's like, it's so fun to have creative hobbies and passions. And like, that's a source of happiness for me. It's like the creativity is a big source of like happiness. And to be creative, you have to be free of a lot of the regular stresses that we have as day-to-day stresses that people have. So
I'm gonna go back on that. If you did have that, right, free of the day-to-day problems that the most average Joe would have, would you do this full time, or do you think you'd find another hobby, or what would you do?
I feel like I did do this full time almost, man.
Yeah.
Like, from like November, December, January, I had nothing. Like I had time off, and I was doing this. I was doing like 2 or 3 pods a week, maybe like 1 or 2 a week. But
okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I mean, to do this full time, like, I mean, I don't know. Full time's kind of hard to like what does full time mean? Like 40 hours a week, like making money. Would
you travel and do this? Like, would you travel interviewing different people, or like doing this different states, different areas? I don't know. Like, I guess
that's such a good question. I don't know. I'm still actually figuring out like what the podcast, like how where it's gonna go. Like I'm still figuring out
what direction you're taking.
What direction it's gonna go, and it's still like so new. I've only been doing it for, like less than like 6 months still. So it's new, but I don't know. It's a big like personal, it's kind of a personal project. Like it's just something that I'm experimenting with. It's allowed me to have some cool experiences with friends, and like the fact that we're even doing this right now.
I think that's
it's
awesome.
Cool. Like
I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
It would be fun to have like a reoccurring like guest.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
because it takes some of the pressure off me, because I feel like every episode I have to like put all this thought into it.
Right.
Like,
come up with ideas and content.
Yeah. I know that you have aspirations to like
lots
big dreams of like creating content and things like that. Like, what are some things that you could see yourself doing in like the next year, like here in Colorado?
Mark my words, it will definitely be some outdoor content, like snowboarding, and eventually, when I get enough money, I'd like to travel to my old rehab that I stayed at for 2 years, and I'd like to do a sit down talk with my counselors, and try and get a whole new like perception, because they saw me as a complete different person, and now I'll be coming back almost 10 years later as a whole different person. Yeah, and I would love that. I want to get that reaction. I want to see what they think. I want to talk about anxiety and new ways that I've had to figure out and cope with stuff. Yeah. And just some tips that they've given me through life.
Yeah,
and how it's helped.
Yeah, so you want to take like your past experiences and kind of turn them on their head and use it for good.
I want to do a lot of teaching. I want to do a lot of like how I felt. I wish there was someone that, maybe there is, maybe I don't know, but more of like what I went through, I want to show, and then come back and talk about it and be like, I'm like, it's okay for this to happen. You don't need to feel like you're in an alphabet and you need to jump all the way to Z from A. It's okay to go through A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and all the way to the end. That's okay. It's going to happen. That's life. And some of these people are like scared. They don't even want to get out of their house because they're scared of B. What's after A? B.
Right. They're
So
scared
it's
to
like-
go to the next step.
Yeah.
Huh. That's crazy, man. Yeah, I know. Obviously not today, but like I just know that you have a really unique story. It sounds like.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I love that for you. That you're coming to terms with where you've had ups and downs in life, and you're accepting those low points.
Yeah.
And you're just accepting it. You're integrating it to who you are. And I love that you want to like use that to help other people.
Yeah,
And inspire and like. It's just really cool that you have that thought at like 21. I don't think I was thinking about that 21.
And I mean, like, it's kind of, you know, I've been called weird. I've been called all sorts of names.
This is why we're friends,
Yeah.
probably. We're both pretty weird.
Yeah, I'm weird. I'm super weird. I've always, all these college kids that were like, just come out and party for the night. And I'm sitting here like, what if we were to go out and like try and make a video or try and start a podcast? And they're like, like, dude, what are you like? You're not the Nelk Boys, bro. Like, I'm like,
Right.
See, it's just like some people truly have dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they will stay dreams because they don't want to do anything about it. And that's another point of why you asked, like, why I want to come out here. I wanted to come out here because I was sick of repeating the same circle and not having anything good in my life. Like, I tell you what, I couldn't even count. I could probably count 3 friends that were truly good to me in my life and genuinely would text me. Like, I could not pick up my phone for a week, and the only text I'd probably see is from my grandma. And so one of those points was like, ouch. Like,
yeah.
I'm 20 years old and don't have a single person that really truly cares about to even say they're my friend.
Dang.
And that, at that point, like, those 2 to 3 add-ups was like, yeah, man, I know I'm a good person. I love treating people that truly, like, if I see you care about me, I'll give you the world. Like, I will treat you like a genuine number 1 best friend. But if I see the opposite,
Yeah.
I won't really care for you.
Yeah, man. That's crazy that you feel that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a like raw, real thing.
It is raw.
It's hard for me to relate to that because I haven't ever really felt like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. One thing we were talking about just earlier, like with the like doing new things, like putting yourself out there. Like it sounds like you've had friends in the past where you're like, let's go make a video, let's make a podcast, and they'll like shoot that down.
No,
like,
totally.
like, dude, I have friends back home that like some of my best friends that I went through like middle school, high school with, but ever since I've gone to college, I feel like there's a little bit of disconnect.
Yeah, like a gap.
A little gap. Yeah. And like I know friends back home that they're negative. They'll want to shoot down anything like creative. They won't want to go out on a limb.
No, they don't want to take any risk, any chance, really anything. But then, they'll sit in the couch with all their buddies and be like, oh, wouldn't this idea be cool? Or if we could have a Ferrari, wouldn't that be nice? And it's
Right.
like,
They talk about it.
yeah,
but they
you
never-
can do all that chatting you want and not put a single dime or any effort. And that's what I was talking about. Like, I feel like the people that genuinely do have a good setup and do have a good life and, they have some people that care about them, they've worked for that in their life somehow, one way or another. They've worked for it.
Put in hours and hours of time doing
exactly.
it in practice. Dude, yeah, I mean this podcast here, it's like that's the thing is people expect that wouldn't it be nice if you could just jump into something and be great at it?
Yeah.
And just be an expert. But it never works like that.
No.
Everybody starts off sucking, like terribly sucking, whatever it is, whether it's drawing or any sort of skill, podcasting, making music, making videos. You start off really bad. And like the people that become masters, they're willing to be a fool in the beginning.
Yeah, they're willing to sit there and try and fail and look like a fool. They're willing for that because they know that the outcome that they put in is worth it because they know that they're going to put in that work.
Yeah. Yeah, and they get more brave too as they go.
More confidence.
That's what I found with podcasts too. Like doing more and more. Like it's a skill.
Yeah.
Like anything else, I'm developing skill and like I don't know, we might watch this back and you might feel like, man, my first podcast, like, dude, you're going to look back and be like, why did I say that? Or where was I going with that thought? But like, this is like the practice of it is like thinking in real time and actually organizing your thoughts coherently.
Yeah.
That's not the easiest thing in the world. Like it's not, it's not something that you practice per se. We do it all day in our regular day-to-day lives. We talk and conversate, but then when you're like, oh, it's in this format now that I plan to like put out.
Yeah,
it's like,
publish it, and it's like, it's a whole different.
You start analyzing your thoughts a little more.
Yeah, heavier.
And maybe overthinking or like questioning because you want it to be good and you want it to come out properly. But yeah, so many things, so many skills just take work, and like if you're not willing to be a fool, you'll never become a master.
Oh, I like that.
Bar.
Yep. Right there.
That's probably a quote from someone else. I think it's another Jordan Peterson quote. He's like one of my favorite. This poster over here, JP's 12 Rules for Life.
I was looking at that earlier. I liked it.
It's a book. I think it's actually like under here. But yeah, I don't know if do you ever read?
I've read. I'm currently not reading anything right now because I've been really stressed out with Tank. But I want to get back into reading a stress book that my grandma has. It's in the closet. Oh, I'm blanking on the name. But it's like one of those thin books, but it's still good. I don't really judge a book if it's big, long, thick. Yeah,
right.
I don't really care for that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I didn't get into reading until like I never grew up reading. I mean, I just never liked it. But so yeah, if you don't read, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I do when I really. It's one of those things when I really want to, and when I can actually just think in my head, I'll read. Like if it's peaceful, if I could read in the sauna without people coming in, man, that'd be my spot.
Yeah. Some people struggle with focusing.
Yeah,
on like reading a page. I get that.
I'm terrible with it. I'm terrible with even holding a conversation sometimes.
Right.
I'll be like a squirrel, I'll see a squirrel and like over there.
Yeah,
and we could totally be having the most serious conversation.
Yeah, dude.
And it's just like, yeah.
Dude, I love that about you. You have a really good, I remember when we first met, I'm like, there's just something about your like energy that's just really contagious. I remember even Asia telling me after we'd all hung out by the pool when she met you for the first time, she's like, I really like Van. Like,
that's good.
Like
that's
just like lovable. I don't know. Like you just have a very good. You're like a lighthearted person. Yeah,
I appreciate that. Seriously, like that means a lot because I've only had 2 or 3 people tell me that, so it means a lot. I seriously appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, I'm super grateful that you're out here. Like me, you, and Calvin. Shout out Calvin. Calvin's gonna be Calvin's gonna be upset that I did a podcast with you before him. But me and Calvin are gonna do a garage podcast. Yep, we're gonna do like lawn chairs and like crack open a beer and like set up in the garage, his garage.
That'll be cool. Yeah. Is the bike gonna be in there?
Yeah, we'll have the bike in the background. Nice. Yeah, it'll be good times.
Yeah, I actually loaded it up and we took the bike out to a Woodland Park. And we told you about that.
Yep.
So that was cool. I like Calvin. Good guy. Really nice.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, really cool.
He's subtle. Remember last night?
Yeah.
He's subtle.
He's super subtle. Quiet, and then when he needs to say something, he's there. Yes. I love it.
Yeah, our podcast will be interesting because he's quiet sometimes. Calvin, you're quiet, bro.
That's okay.
Good times. But yeah, I mean, me, you, and Calvin, like, it's just cool that we all live in the same apartment.
Yep.
Like, it's just nice to have, like, people just to text up, like, hey, let's get on the hot tub.
Yeah, let's hang out.
Yeah, let's go.
I think that's actually really cool.
Yeah, dude. We need to hit some hikes, do some, like, camping or...
Let's do that one you were talking about.
Mount Cutler?
Yep.
It's a good one.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, bro.
I totally want to do that. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, man. Well, shoot. How long do you think we've been recording? If you had to take a guess.
I'd take a guess. Probably put it in the range of like 20-ish minutes.
20? We've been going for 50 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
That's good.
Time flies, bro.
Yeah, time does fly. And like what's really cool about it is, like that's another thing. Like genuinely, people are always watching the time, right? You're always looking at the time. You're always thinking something's always ticking in your head. Like, oh, dinner 7, work off at 8. Anyways, I feel like when you're genuinely when your mind's focused on something that you're happy or you're controlling or something that's good, something's good, some good energy, you lose time. You lose, that's not your focus anymore. What's focus is in front of you, and that feeling, that energy of how good, how good things are going with that moment.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like we got
like that.
into like engaging conversation, and we kind of forget that we're doing the podcast and it's just me and you like dialoguing and just having a genuine interaction.
Yeah, hanging out, talking, and like you said, it's not like an interview. It's not like, it's just two dudes genuinely just hanging out, talking.
Yeah,
like, that's awesome.
New friends.
Yeah, new friends. I like that,
bro. Well, sweet, bro. This is gonna be Give Me the Keys.
Give Me the Keys
32.
Sweet.
Pod 32. So though, Van's the special guest for Pod 32.
All right.
We went and did it today. Van's a new bud, and super grateful for him. And dude, this was your first podcast, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like first everything. First talking on the mic, first camera, like.
Yeah, bro. I think it went great for a first podcast. Like, I was a little anxious at the beginning. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I was sweating at the beginning. I'm over here like, damn, like I don't want to mess up. And then it as we talk, it slowly turns into like this really peaceful thing. It's nice.
Yeah, cool.
It's really cool. Yeah.
And then that we get to put this out and then share it with people is like.
And you're titling it what 30?
We got to come up with a good name. I was just gonna make it probably just put Van.
Van.
Just straight Van.
All right.
Just Van. All right.
All right. I like that. Van.
Just Van. Is Van, I never asked you, is Van short for anything or is it just?
It's just Van. I've never been told anything else. And, my mom wasn't around for long enough to talk to her. So I just figured just Van.
Just Van. Bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was short for
Van Halen, Tobin. I don't know. There's so many out there.
I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
Vincent, I was thinking like a version of Vincent, but Vincent. I don't know.
The closest one that's actually like stumped me was like someone came up and like Vanderson.
Vanderson?
Like,
that's kind of sick, actually.
Vanderson. It's a good one.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Like that.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, we covered it. We hit everything, so.
And yeah, good distance here.
No, it's all ruined. No, it's fun. It's good. Yeah, so no, we got the waveforms there and everything. So
yeah, sweet.
But yeah, bro, just give me the keys 32. I appreciate you joining me.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
My man.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you soon. I like that little silly energy at the end. I love it.
Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to unlock. Give me all the keys, I'm about to